On August 31, 2019, during the second lap of the Formula 2 Championship feature race, which was held at the Belgian Spa-Francorchamps circuit, Anthoine Hubert suffered one of the most severe accidents in the recent history of motorsport. The French driver lost his life following a complex sequence of collisions involving multiple single-seaters, which had initiated just a few seconds earlier on the ascent of Eau Rouge and Raidillon, while Juan Manuel Correa sustained extremely severe injuries that would mark the entire remainder of his sporting career. But to fully understand the elements involved and the exact sequence of events, we have carried out a detailed technical analysis to explain how the events unfolded and determine the causes that led to this accident. The single-seaters utilized in the Formula 2 Championship during the 2019 season were designed to offer performance levels very close to those of a Formula 1 car, although featuring a less sophisticated aerodynamics package and a lower power output. The chassis was a Dallara F2 2018 model manufactured entirely out of carbon fiber, which was equipped with a 3.4-liter turbocharged V6 engine capable of developing around 620 horsepower. With the driver on board the single-seater, the entire assembly slightly exceeded 750 kilograms in weight, a figure which, combined with the massive aerodynamic downforce generated by the flat floor, the rear diffuser and the various wings, allowed the car to maintain very elevated speeds even through fast corners. The accident took place at the Belgian circuit of Spa-Francorchamps, a racetrack that is highly characterized by its long straights, sharp changes in track elevation, and several corners that are taken practically flat out, all of which convert this circuit into one of the most demanding venues for the dynamics of a single-seater. The succession of corners formed by Eau Rouge and Raidillon concentrates a good part of those difficulties, because at the high speeds that are achieved in this sector, the change of grade momentarily limits visibility toward the exit of the turn, so that any obstacle located past the crest remains hidden until the single-seater reaches that point. The sequence began during the course of the second lap. Giuliano Alesi was ascending through Raidillon when he suddenly lost control of the rear end of his single-seater. The FIA investigation considered a sudden loss of pressure in the right rear tire as the most probable explanation, which immediately modified the contact patch with the asphalt and reduced its capacity to transmit lateral forces. The car began to rotate toward the left side while ascending the slope, and it ultimately ended up impacting against the barrier located on that side of the circuit. The crash detached numerous fragments of carbon fiber and caused the single-seater to partially rebound back toward the track. Although Giuliano Alesi fortunately emerged from the vehicle practically uninjured, the ideal racing line remained occupied by debris and by a stranded car. As a result, the drivers arriving immediately behind had barely any time to react or even identify what was happening beyond the crest. The first driver to encounter the situation was Ralph Boschung. He immediately moved to the wide tarmac runoff area on the right-hand side of the track, slowing the car to avoid both Alesi's stranded car and the debris scattered across the circuit. The maneuver successfully avoided a direct collision, but it also changed the path available to the drivers arriving just seconds behind. Hubert decided to move toward the right side with the objective of avoiding both the crashed vehicle and Boschung's single-seater. However, both cars were practically converging toward the exact same point. The nose of Hubert's car ended up striking the right rear wheel of Boschung's car, which caused the front wing to become completely and utterly destroyed. This caused the front axle to completely lose its capability to produce grip, while the rear axle continued receiving practically the same aerodynamic downforce, which resulted in a very pronounced understeer condition. The French driver continued sliding with practically no capacity to modify his trajectory, receiving an initial impact against the tire barrier located on the right side of the runoff area. The car immediately rebounded back toward the track while rotating around itself, coming to a virtual standstill and oriented perpendicularly to the direction of travel, and with the left side of the survival cell completely exposed toward the vehicles that were still arriving into that zone. Barely a few tenths of a second later, Juan Manuel Correa appeared. Just like the previous drivers, the change of grade had prevented him from seeing the accident until the very last instant. When he crested the climb, he encountered a track occupied by fragments of carbon fiber, several cars well outside of their usual trajectory, and an extremely reduced amount of space to react. Without any possibility of regaining control, Correa's single-seater headed directly toward Hubert's vehicle, colliding in an almost perpendicular manner, with an angle close to 86 degrees and at an approximate speed of 218 kilometers per hour. This type of lateral impact represents one of the most unfavorable scenarios for any safety structure, since it concentrates a massive amount of energy over a very reduced surface area and leaves very little available travel distance to absorb the deceleration before the loads reach the occupant. During the impact, Correa's single-seater experienced a maximum deceleration of approximately 65 g, while Hubert's vehicle reached a peak close to 82 g. The FIA investigation concluded that the transfer of energy produced in that lateral impact was extraordinarily elevated and widely exceeded the limits for which any current driver protection system can be designed. Anthoine Hubert was attended to immediately by the medical teams deployed to the scene of the incident and transferred to the medical center located within the circuit. However, the traumatic injuries sustained due to the massive energy transfer during the impact proved incompatible with life, unfortunately passing away a few hours after the accident. Giuliano Alisi and Ralph Boschung did not sustain any serious injuries and were able to leave their single-seaters by their own means. Juan Manuel Correa survived the impact, although he suffered fractures in both legs, spinal injuries, and a significant thoracic trauma. After analyzing the complete sequence, the FIA reached the conclusion that the accident was not the consequence of a single mistake, nor of a single mechanical cause, but rather of the concatenation of several independent events that occurred in just a few seconds. The conclusions of the report also led to a series of new safety measures. These included the development of structures capable of absorbing greater energy during side impacts, systems designed to reduce the detachment of large components from the single-seaters, and improvements in tire pressure monitoring. The FIA also introduced new signaling solutions to warn drivers more quickly about accidents occurring beyond the crest of a hill. If you like the work that we do and want to support our channel, we would highly appreciate it if you subscribed and left us a like, since thanks to your support we can continue creating this type of analysis and reconstructions. Thank you very much for watching. I will read you in the comments and see you in the next video.